Welcome to my e-portfolio encompassing and hopefully evidently showcasing my professional development over the course of our second term. Jumping right into my vision of teaching and learning, I think that looking at my personal statements gives a pretty clear idea into how my vision toward teaching and learning has changed from last term to this, and my guiding questions that were completed after I wrote my second personal statement on January 11th of this term support this development. When asked why I want to become a teacher on September 8th, my response was very sort of to the point, as you can see. I said that I want to have an influence on and care for my students in a way that would shape their young minds in a positive way. This response, in hindsight, was very simple and sort of abstract or theoretical. I wanted to shape my students' minds in a positive way through my teaching, but could not envision how this might actually look like in my future classroom. After completing my first term of the program and having the opportunity to actually teach my own class during first practicum, I was able to take this initial start of a vision and witness it within practice. Thus, the development of my vision has been very strongly supported through applying and experiencing firsthand what was initially just a theoretical ideal vision, if you will. I believe my response as to why I want to become a teacher on January 11th, after this experience of practicum, portrays my vision of teaching and learning much more accurately. In particular, my understanding of the role of education in society is that education is meant to enrich the minds of all learners, young and old. While it can be used to promote specific knowledge and ideology, it should also encompass enabling learners to think and learn for themselves. In other words, while education might give learners specific types of knowledge, it should also provide learners with the tools they need to be critical thinkers, including being critical of what they learn in any given context. My vision, thus, is one that focuses on encouraging and giving my students the skills they need to become strong thinkers rather than simply good students. Teaching and learning should focus not only on presenting content to a classroom, but rather on giving students the skills they need to interpret this content in their own meaningful ways, as well as the skills they need to be critical, active, and engaged learners, rather than simply passive receivers of information. The development of my vision, from initially being one simply focused on promoting my students growing up to be good people, to being one that focuses on promoting my students to be strong, critical thinkers, is evident in many weeks of my guiding questions. During week 3, when we learned more about inquiry-based learning, for example, the idea of the active student from my vision was prominent in my emphasis on allowing my students to become active problem solvers and creative designers of the 21st century. Thus, learning about things like inquiry-based learning has allowed me to take an initial theoretical vision and transform it into a concrete, research-based approach to teaching that actually involves my application of this vision. Week 5 also points to the shift from theory to application, as I discussed, having first-hand experience in the classroom during my first practicum has caused me to change as a teacher and learner by gradually making me more able to approach theories regarding teaching and learning with an open but equally critical mind. So again here, my value of being critical sort of shines through my response. Jumping forward to week 9, which is essentially where we are today, about to go into our second practicum, I note that while at the beginning of the program, I envisioned teaching as being more about implementing the Ontario curriculum in an effective and engaging way, this program has enabled me to think more deeply about how my implementation can be catered to the specific interests and needs of the students in my class, as well as how my students' needs can be accommodated in ways that promote their overall success. In conclusion, as my e-portfolio hopefully reflects, I think that my vision of teaching and learning has developed most through having the opportunity to actually implement and apply the research and my own values that stand behind it. I hope to continue developing this vision through practice during my second practicum, and I hope you have enjoyed this video.